Banner Knowledge Bowling Steve here, coming at you doing our most favorite thing, a ball review from Motiv's new Evoke Hysteria. And there is an awful lot of hype around this ball, and for good reason. But before we get started, you're not a subscriber, please do so. Like, share, comment, and get a friend to subscribe. That way we can grow the channel and spread the knowledge. Alright, let's jump into this ball review for Motiv's new Evoke Hysteria. And there's a lot of hype around this ball, so let's get to the facts and let's talk about it. Because this ball is insanely tunable, which means we can adjust it by the way we drill it and by how we prep the cover to fit your needs. So let's throw the ball chart up here, and we're going to see that this is a medium heavy ball on the ball chart. But we're going to talk about that because what we do to the drilling and to the cover stock, we can actually move it around this ball chart. So we're going to look at the core. This is the overload core. Now this is an Asym core. This is a low RG, but it's a moderate diff, moderate intermediate diff. I'll throw those numbers up here too. And we're going to see that this fits between the Jackal series and the Pride line. So we get an Asym from Motiv on a lot of different lines on this ball chart. And that's really important because the Asym cores allow us to drill the balls to tune to your game and the environments that you're facing. Now, what makes this particular core different is depending on how we drill it, we can change the amount of flare that we're going to get on this ball by 20%. So we can raise the diff or lower the diff by 20. And that really means we can move the ball up on the ball chart a line or down on the ball chart a line. But it doesn't end there. The cover is the Propulsion MXV Pearl. And this too is a highly tunable part of the ball. So this particular cover gets a little more traction. So it's a little sooner and it's a little more controllable on the back end. But it doesn't end there. We can move this cover either left or right on the ball chart, depending on how we prep it. So we can certainly add some polish, make this a faster cover, move it a little to the right side of the ball chart, or we could add some surface and move it to the left side of the ball chart. So you can see, depending on how we prep this ball, we can go up or down or left or right on this ball chart to give you the kind of motion that you need in your tournaments, your leagues, and however you need to use this particular ball. Now, I drilled this one 50 by 5 by 45. So that's pretty much my standard drilling, and I fell in love with this ball as soon as I threw it the first time. You know, I use this ball especially on those, you know, medium to medium heavy environments where I need to get the ball down the lane. Sometimes my solid cover stocks and the big cores can dig in and they get a little forward on the back part of the lane. This has the right kind of length and the right kind of shape for me on that back part of the lane. So as the fronts start to go, I certainly can still get it down the lane a little bit because of that pearl cover, but I get enough of that back end reaction, and that's where that carry comes into play, and that's why this ball is so popular. I think if you're speed dominant, I think this is going to be a pearl for you that you can use when you actually start to feel the lanes getting a little soon, or there's a little bit too much hook for you. Because a lot of your balls for speed dominant players, you know, we have them drilled so that they can react on that back part of the lane, but if they get too soon, those can go forward. I think if you're a rev dominant bowler, I think, you know, we can lower this diff, we can get you in, and I think you have a pearl for that heavier oil kind of environment. I'll tell you what, let's go out on the lanes, let's throw some shots, we'll come back briefly and talk about it. Thanks a lot. back, and that was a lot of fun throwing strikes with the Evoke Hysteria. You know, this ball I feel like is going to be a winner for many, many different styles. And going to your local pro shop professional, they'll be able to drill it and prep it so that it's going to fit your needs. My advice, rush out to your local pro shop professional, ask them about this Evoke Hysteria, and pick one up today. You'll be glad you did. Thanks a lot.